jumping in there.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just start by saying, with everything going on, with football and all those kind of things, I just wanted to send our prayers to Mr. Atkinson. George was a teammate of mine. It's crazy how quick life can come at you, and I love George. We had a lot of fun playing basketball at 24 Hour Fitness, as well as playing football games together and competing together. He was always so joyful, man, so happy every single time. He felt like cut and re-signed a whole bunch of times, and every single time he just looked so thankful to be here. So I just wanted to say that we're thinking about him and his family, and that we love him.
Derek, did you have any sense of the pain that he felt off and on? Like, he wrote about it some, but I hadn't seen it. I don't know if you had seen what he wrote.
No, I saw. I heard about what he wrote, obviously, but I would have never guessed that he was struggling that hard. Obviously, I know things had happened in the year prior that could hurt and things like that, make you hurt. But every time I was around George, I never would have thought that he was hurting that much, to be honest. So every time I was around him, he was full of happiness, full of joy, always joking.
Derek, when you see a guy like Ryan Tannehill, quarterback, lose his job, kind of get cast aside, and then all of a sudden he gets another chance and makes the most of it, I'm just wondering from afar, what you think of kind of his comeback this year.
Oh, man. Well, this game is funny. Like, some situations are good for guys, some aren't, right? Like, he's always been a guy that's made a lot of great plays, especially some of the most amazing throws under pressure you'll ever see. But he's never had, the accolades and things like that, that people would talk about on TV and things like that. But it's no surprise to people that watch the film and compete against him that, like, oh yeah, he's having a great year. They got a great team. They're really good, both sides of the football, and that helps, obviously. We've seen this year just, our team, just everyone playing better. Some of the guys we've added, it makes it easier for everybody at every position. It's a team game, and I think Ryan has found himself in just a spot where he feels comfortable, and he's making the most of it. He's a great player.
You guys had a pretty long stretch, 5-6 weeks, where you were as efficient as anyone offensively in the league, and obviously the last couple of weeks have not gone. So what has been the difference that you've seen, and what do you guys need to?
Our execution has not been good enough at all. Like, executing the plays to every detail hasn't been good enough at all. Turning the ball over myself, I don't do that. I don't want to do that. Never been something I've wanted to do or been a part of my game. And so doesn't matter how it happened or why it happened. And so we have to eliminate the turnovers, and that starts with me.
Even the drive, obviously a couple of years, but even the drives without the turnovers weren't going the way they had. What do you need to do to get moving consistently, moving the ball consistently, even without, obviously?
Yeah, with that included, we have to eliminate penalties. You have to stay on schedule. That's the big thing in this league. If you don't stay on schedule, 3rd and 2 and 3 is a lot different than 3rd and 7 and above. You're going to get different packages, coverages. They're going to make stuff up, you know what I mean, just to beat you. And, it's a different game when you don't stay on schedule. And so it sounds cliche, but it's like that's a real thing that in most of our games, we've done a really good job of staying on schedule like that, making those 3rd and shorts. They're easier to pick up, they're easier to get first downs that way. You can still, defense doesn't know, you can still run the ball, when you're at those kind of down and distances. But when you're in longer situations, it's kind of like, what's their call, what's your call? Hopefully yours merges and yours wins, right? And sometimes, they have a good call, or they have this or that. They make a play, whatever the case is. But we eliminate penalties, eliminate the turnovers. We stay efficient on 1st and 2nd down. Everything will get better.
I know we haven't seen all too much of Keelan Doss in game situations, but Coach Gruden said that he might mix up some of the receiving options, and he's been working hard to learn 3 different positions. I'm wondering how you viewed his progress and how the rapport building with him has been going.
Yeah, I love Keelan. thought he even back in OTAs and training camp thought he worked. Whenever after the draft he was here, I thought he worked extremely hard. He's someone, when we got him, I couldn't believe he was undrafted. That was crazy. Because you see his talent, you see his work ethic, how smart he is. For learning this offense at one position is hard enough. He's trying to do it at all three, and he's been doing a great job of that. And where we're at right now, we need him. We need him to play all three spots. Like Coach said, he's been moving some stuff around, as we've seen all throughout the year, just trying to find the best situations for everybody. And his name keeps popping up. Well, we could put him here, and that's a good thing for Keelan.
Does coming home kind of help with those execution problems, those penalties, just playing at home?
Absolutely. Coming at home, we love being home. When you've been on the road a long time, it's always nice to walk in and see your wife. And so you get to come home and see your family. You get to walk into the stadium and see our family, play in front of your family and friends. Things like that. It's a lot quieter when you have the ball on offense at home. Sometimes you get towards those end zones, it gets pretty loud. But playing at home. It definitely makes things more comfortable, but it's still an NFL game, and they're still battling for first place. They're a playoff caliber football team, so we have our work cut out.
Speaking of home, Derek, you only got 2 regular season games left in the Coliseum.
Yeah.
What makes the Coliseum so unique on a personal level?
It's our fans. Our fans make it that way. The black hole, you don't go to any other stadium and see something like that. People have tried to imitate it. People have tried to steal their team's name and nation behind it, but there's only one. It's Raider Nation. It started here, and it'll always be the Raider Nation. And I think that there's that mystique about the Raiders when people come, when rookies or people are starting to come play here, and I'll talk to them after the game and be like, man, it's so cool to play here. Like it's something that is like it's an experience for them, not just a football game. And so it's definitely our fans that just make it that way, because whether we've been 0-10 or we've been, whatever, trying to get a playoff spot, our fans are selling that place out, and they're always here.
What's that one moment that comes to the front of your head when you think of the Coliseum and the black hole of the fans?
My favorite moment was when I've said this before, it's funny, when I broke my ankle. I broke my ankle, and you could feel just the air go out of the stadium. And I remember sitting there, and as I was driving away, just the applause and the cheers, it was like, for whatever reason, in that moment, I felt the love back, and that's something I'll always remember, because I give everything I have for our team, and you give so much. It's always nice to hear it back.
After the game on Sunday, you credited the Chiefs safeties with making a couple of really nice plays on the 2 interceptions. When you look back at those, was that the case, or was there anything from those 2 plays that you?
Well, definitely on the first one, for sure on the first one, he had his responsibility and fell off of it. I mean, we've thrown how many passes this year in the NFL, in the NFL games, and that's the first time, I've thrown that ball and someone fell off their responsibility and did that. You know what I mean? So you get to week whatever that was, and you don't expect certain things like that to happen. But he's a great player, and great players do some great things sometimes. The second one, I just throw it somewhere else next time.
After the game, I don't know if you said this, Taramith said that there was he felt like their defense was able to pick up some things just based on pre-snap formations in terms of when you're going to go downfield. Is that something that you go back and evaluate or look at or take into consideration all when you're looking at tendencies?
No, not for me. That's stuff for the coaches and things like that. Like for me, I just execute the plays that coach wants me to do, and do it to the best of my ability, to be honest with you. When it comes to all that kind of stuff, we had some tips on them that worked for us too. That's how the game goes.
What
A couple more guys.
What do you think is the key to getting back into an offensive rhythm in the passing game with guys like Terrell Williams and Darren Waller?
Yeah, it starts with just being efficient on first and second down. There's different. The game changes, on certain down and distances. And we've had a rough 2 weeks. I've had a rough 2 weeks. It's time to get back on track. It's time to get back in our stadium. It's time to be efficient on offense. It's time to win. And I think that's what I'm excited. We get a chance to go compete against a really good football team. That's the beautiful thing about this game. You rewind 2 weeks ago, we were the greatest story in the NFL. And 2 weeks later, we suck again. You know what I mean? So I think we'll be all right. We're just going to keep grinding. We're going to stick to what we do.
What are you seeing out of the Titans defense on film as you prep?
They fly around. You know, they've had some injuries, obviously, you know, and in some recent kind of weeks, but the style of play, the level of play does not change no matter who's in there. They fly around, they're physical, they're aggressive, and we definitely have our work cut out for us. You know, Coach said it wasn't going to get easier after that Jets game, and it's just going to keep getting harder, and kind of love it.
Derek, everyone in the NFL, every player has aches and pains by now, but when you see Josh Jacobs acknowledge like how bad his shoulder has been for weeks now, and to see the way he runs, is it impressive to you?
His shoulders hurt? Didn't know that. Yeah, see, when I tell you he's special, it's stuff like that I knew about, y'all didn't know about. You know, like you said, you know, everyone plays with something. You know, hopefully it's always listed on the injury report, and things like that. Every team does, you know. But Josh he's special because football means a lot to him. You know, I've been around some people before that have caught some kind of injuries, and you're like, dang, like, wish they would have played through that. You know what I mean? If Josh wasn't able to play, I would completely understand with what he's dealing with. But the fact that he keeps suiting up and going out there and running, not only running, but running with the style that he runs with, I don't think enough can be said about that guy.